Right, folks, the recent beet armyworm outbreak resulted in significant damage to scallion and other crops in the New Forest Duff House, is that what it is? Agro Park and surrounding communities. Here to speak with us about RADA's intervention is Deputy
Deputy Research Director.
Thank you. You can continue.
In the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Michelle Sherwood, and Assistant Plant and Health Food Safety Specialist, Dwayne Henry. Morning to you both.
Morning to you both.
Good morning.
Where is this area we're talking about first?
This area is in the southern part of Manchester.
Okay. And that's the only area that the beetworm has affected so far?
Well, the beet armyworm currently is a pest which is present throughout southern St. Elizabeth, which borders the southern Manchester. Okay. So they're actually neighboring communities. Okay. But the particular beet armyworm outbreak that occurred mainly in southern Manchester. It was concentrated there.
This is not a new problem, though. This armyworm has been on the job for years, decades actually. Give me a little bit of a history, Sir Dwayne.
Well, the outbreak, well, we have beet armyworm infestation that dates back to the 1950s, right? But it wasn't a problem then. Then we have in the 90s, it resurged, right? But the outbreak we really had that is of significant proportion is in 2009, right? Let me tell you what is special about this outbreak, because we have always been able to keep it at bay. What is special about this outbreak is that it's usually an outbreak that is with St. Elizabeth,
yes.
Right? Now, this one, because we have kept it at bay through several interventions so far, it has migrated now to Manchester, right? Which wasn't an era of outbreak.
Before.
Right. It was probably affected because it was on the periphery of where the initial infestation or outbreak usually was. So I wouldn't say it took farmers by surprise, because one day it would have migrated if the practices are not upheld.
Is there something specific to that area, why that's the only area that it attacks?
Scallion and onion specific to that area.
Okay. So it only attacks those crops?
No, it doesn't, but those are the preferred hosts for it. Wherever there is scallion, it will not mess with any other crop in the vicinity than onion.
Yeah.
And then when those crops are depleted,
move on
it moves to other
hosts
for survival.
Right.
Bean, beet, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. It's not really partial. Once it's scallion
and onion finish.
So how bad is it now, and how big a threat is it to these crops?
All right, let me tell you. Let me give you over 550 acres in total. Scallion is being grown between Manchester and St. Elizabeth, with St. Elizabeth being the majority of 300 acres, right? Manchester 250. Currently, the infestation is with Manchester affecting about 97 farmers with about 250 thereabout acres, right, being affected. The immediate impact, the estimated damage right now is somewhere in the region of 111 million. And the immediate impact would be a shortage of scallion on the local market. Right. And shortage, you have to think about the shortage. The shortage may not be that scallion is not there. It means that the beet armyworm is present within the scallion, so it's not marketable. Right? Oh. And then the processors who usually take the bulk of the scallion, they are unable to meet their quota because they cannot take it with that much worm inside of the scallion itself.
Okay. Ms. Michelle, what does the ministry do about all of this now?
Well, the ministry has, since the problem has occurred, has been working closely with a number of agencies. As the head of the ministry, we have been working closely with the extension arm RADA. We have also brought on external funding agencies such as FAO.
So the FAO gave some help.
They gave some over $213,000 US, where we implemented a project between 2012 and 2015 for 3 years. We were in the area. We were able to train over 250 farmers in what we call farmer field school approach. And this is learning by doing. As you know, we normally train farmers by, you know, a one-day training, and they might forget the next day. But with this one, we were with them for like 8 weeks. And each week there was a meeting, decisions were made, and you could see the linkage between the decision, why the decisions were made, monitoring was done, scouting was done. So we have worked closely with the farmers through USAID, the ACDI Vocal. They have been very helpful in providing.
Which one is that?
This is called ACDI Vocal. It's a USAID entity that's here, right here in Jamaica. And through these all these agencies, we have been able to work close with the farmers in St. Elizabeth, where the work was concentrated.
So where are we now? What's the snapshot? We're okay? We're handling it? We're dealing with the issue?
We are dealing with the issue as we work together. We are on the ground. There's the training taking place as we speak throughout the since the outbreak, and even before the outbreak, we've been there.
You can't get rid of it?
It is
Totally.
true. Yes, it is true.
With any pest, it's no longer eradication. It's management, because everything exists within a particular context. One pest uprising affects the other because one pest will delete the food for another, and it's just environmental dynamics.
Ignorant, but why you can't get rid of the
It is just the nature of insects. One of the ways that we have learned over the years that even with the worst of pesticide that you could find, there's always a percentage which is tolerant to the pesticide. It's just the genetic makeup of these insects. So even if you think you don't see them, they are there hiding in some crevice somewhere. Yes. So it's not possible to totally eradicate
Okay, so having
pests
said
generally.
that, what about the farmers? Every time them grow scallion, it just eat it off and that's it?
No, what we are encouraging is consistent management.
Right.
Once there's consistent management from you have this crop, it reduces the problem. One of the big problems we have in that area is that they do not practice crop rotation. The crop is always there, and therefore, this is a scallion, and it always therefore has food to feed on. It always has a place to eat. So what we are encouraging farmers is to also crop rotate, put in another crop, break the cycle.
Okay.
And that is what's not happening. And therefore, the pest has built a relationship with this crop because it's always there. And it really provides a really difficult situation in the area. And what makes it worse is that, especially at this time of the year, around the April-May time, the price of the crop tends to fall very low. And when this occurs, they are not able to fund the management program.
Okay.
And this has been part of the problem in this outbreak, where farmers did not do what they were supposed to do in a timely manner, because timing is of importance.
It's everything.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
What is this the very unique about the relationship is that the pest, once it has 5 stages in the caterpillar stage, and once it enters inside the leaf, it's hiding, it's well protected from pesticides, and it's well protected. So there's a narrow window for the pest to be managed with the young caterpillars, which are vulnerable and exposed. But once inside, they're tolerant, and they're well hidden inside of the leaf of the
glad you're working together to try and help the farmers to manage it so we can get scallion and get onion. And don't end up in a situation where there's none on the market, because that would be. Thank you very much for coming in and sharing what's been happening in this area and the progress.
It's our pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Deputy Research Director in the Research and Development Division and Michelle Sherwood, Assistant Plant Health and Food Safety Specialist, Dwayne Henry.
Nice try, though. On the other side of the break.
I did fist fight, but.
Earl Moxham, that should be easier for you. Takes us across the globe. International Week that was is next.